Introducing the Poet Life Podcast. Go check it out today on your favorite platforms, including iTunes, Apple Music, and the website, thepoetlife.com.
Find a way, find a way. Ain't get no time.
Listen up. It's the Poet Life Podcast. I am Christoph Wrights. My other half, my frat brother, J. Rod D, cannot make it tonight, but we're going to keep the ball rolling. I don't have that frat brother tonight, but I have my other frat brother, Christopher Cocktails Cornell. What's going on, sir?
How you doing, Chris? I appreciate you having me out, brother. Much success for everything, and I'm humbled that I get the opportunity to speak.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I reached out to you about a month and a half ago, and I've been following you for a good while, and we've been communicating through Facebook Messenger. Like, we really haven't had a conversation. We're mutual. I won't say mutual. Well, I have a friend that's your wife. She went to Norfolk State University, I was introduced to you through her, and really, really excited about what you're doing. We're going to go into a lot of things tonight, and we'll build up to what you do and where you are today, man. Where did you get started in the arts? Let me ask you that.
Well, I tell everybody, man, I've been on stage since I was 5 years old.
5.
Yeah, 5. My mom recognized early, just being a busybody, a very active child. She didn't believe, I'm not about to give this dude pills and make him a zombie early. You need to keep him busy. So what she did is, pretty much saw my personality and just allowed me to, act out my life on stage, as like Donny Hathaway says. So from the 5-year-old Easter speech to fast forward the talent shows, and this back in the day, the dance groups, so I been in a couple of dance groups, choir, and then when hip hop came out, rapping. And then by the time I got to college, I was very clear that I wanted to be in communications. At that time, I thought I was going to be Stuart Scott because, Sports Center was popping. Shout out to frat Stuart Scott.
Yes, sir.
But what really just was a blessing to me is I came to Atlanta from Houston, Texas. And while there, I had the opportunity to, again, continue to engage in a lot of things in the community. Atlanta is just a hotbed of arts, culture, and entertainment. So you have the birth of, trap music. At that time, it was crunk music.
Yeah.
Of course, you got Outkast, with the hip hop and soul. You still have, the burgeoning spoken word scene, live music scene.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of immersed in all of those things. And so it was just a nice crock pot for me as a young man to kind of figure out what I wanted to do in coming out of college. So when I came out of college, I already started throwing parties, of course, with the frat. I was throwing parties just because I like to throw parties. And so between SGA presidency and the fraternity, and then just kind of building my brand out of college, literally my audience has grown up with me. And I was about 24. And I tell everybody the story, man. I was in a club. The club was packed. Great night. I'm on the mic. I'm rocking. I'm hosting. But I'm just like looking over the crowd, man. And people are doing their thing. They're smoking. They drinking. We're 24.
Right.
Like God spoke to me, man. He was like, how much booty shake can you do? How much Hennessy can you drink? Like, there's a purpose. There's a platform that I have for you. And this ain't it. So I want you to bring people together, and I want you to have a good time. But this isn't the avenue that I want you to take it through. At that time, I was working at GE because I still was, college graduate, doing the blue suit, red tie, making sure that I'm checking all the boxes of the upstanding black man.
Right.
And I had a brother that worked literally next to me in the cubicle. Derek Abyss Graham, shout out to him. And he came up here specifically for poetry. Like, he was like, yo, I'm here. I was doing poetry in Jacksonville. Now, I came to Atlanta because, again, I just know the Atlanta scene is, somewhere I can grow. Have you thought about poetry before? Because he had been to my parties, and I was like, I've always performed, and, I'm an MC, and I like standing on stage, and I host, and I was already doing that. But I had really not really considered the art form of poetry as like just an artist. So he said, man, just write something. So, I wrote a couple of things, performed them. They went well. And so then I just really got more interested in the culture here in Atlanta. And 20 years later, here I am as far as being one of the top providers of spoken word, I would dare say, in the nation, as far as like, I put up my track record against a lot of people, successful things in the name of poetry. Because I just have had opportunity to move seamlessly through all of these different worlds, to bring all of these worlds together and interject poetry as a highlight and an advocate for just how dope the art form is.
Got it. So you started really early, man. You started at 5 on stage.
Correct.
To kind of put that energy to work is what your mom was trying to do for you. That's good. My middle child, all energy, all of it. And I have to kind of bring myself back to it. It's like you said, it's really a good thing, but again, you have to really get back to it, because if you're working and you're cooking and you're doing this and she's just jumping, you like, sit down, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it's a management of energy,
right?
And cultivating the energy that your child has. And so I can really appreciate that, man. So did you have to kind of go through some training as far as the different things that you were doing on stage, whether it was speaking or did that come innately? Like, did that come easy for you?
It came easy for me. Again, I would definitely say my specific training came when I got to college, because I say hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah.
I never had to work hard. It's kind of like, everybody in college, obviously, you start separating, like everybody's great athletes, but there's a certain elite athlete that makes it to the NFL, then there's somebody that's college. Right. Same thing, that separation from high school to college. So in high school, I was already top of my class. I came in arrogant, like, I got this, I can do it. Then I met some brilliant people, and I was like, whoa, you're brilliant. Okay, let me step my game up. And, I'm speaking not only of my colleagues, but just also the professors, because one thing I really cherish about HBCU, shouts out to CAU, Clark Atlanta University, is they can call you on your BS.
Yeah.
And so I had an honors program professor, Dr. Isabella Jenkins, and she was like, boy, you fly by the seat of your pants. And she's like, you're charming, but you ain't that cute. And so I was met with various professors and colleagues that challenged me to get not only the content down, but make sure that I was delivering it in a comprehensive manner. So through the oratorical contest, through the speech writing, through CAU, this is a fun fact people don't know, like when CAU TV was first launching, I was like the anchor in the demo pilot, that's when the Olympics was here. So, all of those things of, having to like stand and your shoulders are broad, and you have to like look at the camera and let me talk with this voice and inflection and tone and excitement, empathy, so there are so many things that, because again, honed what I had already done, just, off of what I consider game, again, it was like, hey girl, you know what it is. Like,
right.
Or like, oh, let me hustle and let me try to, persuade this person. I didn't know what persuasive speaking was, or there was even a manner of persuasive speaking until I actually had to, again, put the actual educational content behind what I'd already innately known just by thinking, okay, this is what I want to do. But there's a difference between the ones that do it and the ones that do it for real.
Nice. So basically you learned that you weren't the smartest in the room.
Oh, quickly.
Yeah.
But I've always known that. I never felt that I was the smartest in the room, but also And, this is what I tell my young adults all the time, because, as an instructor on this side, 20 years later, of course, hindsight's 2020. If you knew then what you know now, I tell my young adults all the time, man, put in the work now. And to your point of not being the smartest one in the room, if you are the sum total of the 5 people around you.
There you go.
So look around and look at the 4 people around. And if you're the 5th one, if you're the smartest one, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
You're not doing as well as you think you are. That's number one. And then the second thing of not being the smartest person in the room and being humbled. I never wanted to work that hard. Like, again, hard work beats talent. When talent doesn't work hard. Right. I knew I was talented. I knew I could do it. Show it to me. I got it. Cool. Oh, you still working on it? Why, bro? Let's go do something. Like, why are we still working on this? Like, man, I have to really get this down. I didn't get that early. I did not get that early on in my career. And so now when I am very intentional about drilling down on certain things, that's because I know that I won't challenge myself. So now I have to challenge myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, because
if not, I'll just be just above mediocrity, but I won't always be operating in excellence.
Got it. So how did you surround yourself by those 5 smarter people? How did you find those people? Because you have to be intentional. If you weren't raised by like just smarter people, or most times or a lot of times our friends are just like us, or you're the smarter one and they kind of feed off you. You know what I mean? So what did you do to kind of put yourself in a place where you were being able to feed off somebody else and kind of learn from them?
Well, I'm very unapologetic in saying the frat saved my life. Like Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Fly Alpha Phi chapter located on his campus of Clarkland University, saw the young boy that could be a great man. Again, I came in, I was gregarious, I had the personality, thought I was cool. And, the frat has a way of breaking you down, right? They're like, oh,
for sure.
You got it.
For sure.
And so, again, everything that I thought I was doing well, they showed me that you're supposed to do that. Like, that's not impressive. You're supposed to have a 3.0 or better. You're supposed to be a leader. You're supposed to hold office. You're supposed to be on the dean's list. You're supposed to provide these communities. Like, that's not impressive as a Black man. That's what's already in you. The power is already in you. So when I started really hanging around those brothers, again, that were honed, that were polished, the dress, you couldn't, like, I graduated my senior year with 1 pair of jeans. And it's funny because even now, like, my wife has to buy me jeans. I don't wear jeans. Like,
right.
I love suits. Like, even if I'm dressing down, I'll still rather, throw some slacks and a nice button up and a thing on. Like, why don't you just wear some jeans? I was like, I guess I could. Didn't even occur to me, right? So, it's just that type of discipline and consistency they placed in my life. And then again, as you start evolving and maturing, and then when you get out and just with our network, not only within the business community, but also just the regular community, because we just had some deaths here with the passing of John Lewis and Reverend C.T. Vivian and Lowry. And again, just being in the frat, being in those settings was normal, which is kind of crazy, right? And I tell, Pete, and it's on the wall, not all great men are alphas, but all alphas are great men, right?
Yeah.
And we know that. But just to be in these settings and be able to soak up the game, and again, them still sharpening, still making sure that they're holding you accountable, of you saying who you are, what you're going to do, and how you're going to make an impact. That really, really changed the paradigm of my thinking, also just the trajectory of my life.
Got it. That's heavy. Now, you said you mentioned that you were an instructor. In what way?
So this is my 12th year in higher education. I started at Spelman College, and then I transitioned over to Year Up, which is a workforce development program. We train 18 to 24-year-olds in information technology and business skills. Specifically, what I do, I'm a professional skills facilitator. So I teach young adults the foundational principles that they need to walk into any business environment and thrive. So what does that look like when you show up? It's aptitude that gets you hired. I can train you and hire you, but it's aptitude that gets you fired. So how are you connecting with people? How are you building your network? How are you collaborating? How are you communicating effectively? How are you resolving conflict? How are you able to code switch? How are you able to recognize your audience and then appropriately deliver presentations? So I have been doing that for the past 2 years on a national level with my team. But before that, I had been doing public speaking with Spelman. Then I transitioned over to business communications with Year Up as a nonprofit.
Okay, let me ask you. Let's talk about code switching, right?
Sure.
Because it is very prevalent and necessary in all realms of life, right? So, as a poet, how important is it to learn the skill of code switching, knowing your audience, and not just okay, so let's say you have one poem and you're booked for 3 different environments or audiences. That same poem, same words, but because earlier you talked about the inflection and the tone and the right, you would more than likely, or should, I would say it in a different way, based off of who you're talking to. Tell me about that. Because it goes in the boardroom, but it also happens on stage as well, or should happen on stage.
So I have excellent examples because, again, poetry is literally I would say, the torch that has lit my path. And again, when they say you want to let God, tell me your plans, I was hosting an open mic at this little small bar, right? And it actually was one of the livest open mics in the city. And when you talk about code switching, right? The great thing for us is by day we worked at corporate. By night we're spoken word artists. So we could bring all of these different people in the room. So in this room, number one, it was like a dive bar. So you already had your straight up cast of cake, got off of work, still had their work uniform on, still didn't even change. It's like, yo, give me a beer. Then you had, the independent single ladies that came from the office, they're lawyers, they're doctors. Then you have like the beatniks. Then you had the LGBTQ community because, it's Atlanta, it's downtown. So you have like all of this great energy and diversity in the room. And there was a dean at Spelman that used to come and watch me MC and host. So again, we're talking about code switching. I had to, number one, read the room because I can't be too ratchet and too hood because that's not them. There's something there. So I could throw out some things to let them know, hey, I identify, I'm Southside Houston already. UGK right? But then also I got to go to work because I have a brand. So I can't be too off the wall because they're like, man, that's that dude that, is leading this meeting. And last night he was talking about this, and this.
Right.
Or it might be, again, just the artist community where you still got to earn your respect. So you can't be no slouch. So I got to get up here. I got to spit these bars and let you know, like, no, I do this for real. I'm not just like a pretty face that can organize a great event. Like, I am immersed in this culture and this craft. And so from that opportunity, she invited me to come, be a professor at Spelman. Again, poetry.
Wow.
When I got to Spelman, I looked at this book, and again, I read the book. Oh, this is cute, but you know what doesn't lie? The stage. I said, you see this book? We're not going to use this book. So I rewrote my syllabus. I won best public speaking teacher that year. So the dean calls me in and says, what did you do? I said, I did everything y'all told me not to do. So they're like, cool, we want to use it. So then they took my syllabus and then used it for the whole department. Again, poetry, because I would make them do poems, right? When I got to Year Up, I bought my Spelman curriculum. Like, hey, I wrote this curriculum here. Maybe you could use it here. On a local level, again, code switching. I was able to bring in business people, and we would do speaking panels. But then also for my class, I would have Poetic Fridays. So every Friday, they had to write a new piece about how they were feeling. It could be a monologue, it could be a soliloquy. But again, it's public speaking. Like, the stage doesn't lie. You had to stand in the center of your fire until the truth burns clear, like unapologetically. Spoken word. Somebody from National comes down like, man, this is amazing. How'd you do this with the students? Can we use this over here? Sure. So now my curriculum goes to the National office. Again, spoken word, poetry. I'm going to wrap this all up in a bundle, because when you talk about poetry and how I was able to show me how to code switch, to advocate and show other people to know the audience to code switch, that same dive bar, literally every week, everybody can tell you, man, it was crazy. When I say crazy, the first week there, we show up, and again, everybody's like, yeah, it's Atlanta, it's downtown
Right.
Atlanta. And we're like, hey guys, we're about to do a poem. They're like, what? Dude, get out of here.
Right. Right.
Man, so much. So, I mean, we had a crackhead hop on stage and start booty shaking. Like, the cook came out from the back and got drunk, and then I was going to fight with my DJ. So, like, again, conflict resolution, interpersonal communication,
Right.
having to, manage these personalities. I took those same lessons and then brought it to the classroom. So for my class, I would have them write a passion speech. So with a poem that you say, hey, I need this poem because these are your words, and don't change the words, but you have to recognize the audience and figure out how to connect to that audience. They would be all excited. Like, yeah, I wrote my passion speech and I'm about to kill it, Mr. Cornell. I'm like, awesome. Step out the room. They're like, what? Step out the room. And then when you come back in, you had to figure out the audience you're presenting to, and then tailor that speech to that audience. So when they would step out the room, they might show back up. It could be a kindergarten class. It could be a juvenile detention center. It could be a Make America Great Again Republican luncheon.
Wow.
So whatever their passion speech was, they had to come back in, figure out that audience. And again, don't change the speech. Don't get scared. Don't get shook. Because if you're really passionate about your words and you're true to your words, you got to figure out how to connect with that audience and deliver that message. And again, all of those different things of not only lessons, but the code switching and being able to understand, number one, who you are, and how you stay authentic to your voice. Because, when I tell people code switch, it ain't fake it till you make it, but I'll fake it till you make it. No, don't be fake. Still be your authentic self. But you have to figure out how to deliver your authentic self to a person that is seeking to understand versus you always trying to be understood.
It's being multilingual.
Yeah.
Because people who speak different languages say the same thing, but just in another language. So whoever they're talking to can understand it.
Correct.
Because too many people, when you talk about code switching, no, man, I ain't switching up for nobody, man. It's who I am. They can't take me for who I am. I just dropped my head, man. But they don't know,
No, that's not true. I don't give them that pass because we grown.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to, so growth mindset versus fixed mindset. This is like one of the top lessons I teach. And are you familiar with growth mindset?
Yes, sir.
So again, if you have a fixed mind, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to say, okay, cool.
Right.
Because you said something before we came on. You said, hey, man, really, you can do whatever you want. Just don't cuss. I could have been like, man, F that. No, bro, you got to know. I got to say as many N-words as possible. And if I can't fill this space with this filler word, then, bro, we might as well not even do it. No, I'm like, okay, cool. Adapt. And so for the people that aren't willing to adapt, guess what they do? They die.
If you're not growing, you're dying.
Pretty much.
Period.
Yeah.
If a flower is not growing, it's on its way to death.
Correct. Yeah, I tell everybody, communicate or die. Ever since I've seen that phrase, I take that phrase to heart, man. And I always, again, going back to my students, because I just tell them life stories. Life stories. Like I remember, you know, we talking about the school shootings, and I was reading this story, and it says the power of communication. The story, not to be morbid, but the school shooter's in, and he's shooting everybody, just like going through and just picking them off. He shows up to this young lady. She was like, "Please don't kill me."
I have kids.
She didn't even do that. She just said, "Please don't kill me." And he killed the person next to her.
Wow.
Advocating for yourself. Because we think it's hopeless. There's no hope. Why even try? No, try. Let me try to communicate, advocate for myself so I can have some type of agency and control my narrative of how this thing is going to go.
How can that benefit the spoken word artist, the poet?
That's a multi-layered question.
Yeah.
I'm about to say let's break it down specifically for what, like it helping them in what.
Well, in their growth in their career. So I don't care how good or bad a rapper may be, they still will say my rap career. But a poet, on the other hand, won't say career. Right. Think about it. Like if you really think and think about your poetry friends, and I think it's because they haven't seen someone go far with poetry, like, and it's not an industry yet, right? So
I want to make sure I'm clear, because it is an industry.
It is.
And so I want to make sure I'm clear in your direction. So your direction is spoken word artists don't take themselves seriously because they don't think that is a viable career.
Yes.
Okay. So when I came into this game, Jay said that every deal I ever made said president. So when I came in, and I might have had an advantage because, I came in throwing parties and, understanding business and understanding events and understanding the power of following in a platform. But when I got to, these spoken word spots, they're like in these little spots. Like, man, the best we can do is hopefully a cafe to hold 20 people will allow us to just occupy this space. And,
right.
Then it only lasts for a couple months, because guess what? Everybody broke. Everybody is starving artists. So poets are coming up. They're drinking one cup of tea. They're drinking out of their flask, and then they're trying to hustle CDs around the club.
Mm-hmm.
So they never took themselves seriously.
Yeah.
So they never invested in themselves to say what a career looks like. So let's break career down. When you say career in any industry, if you have a career in the industry, what is the first thing you need to do? You need to educate yourself on the industry to have a career properly in it. So why would we go to 4 years of college to go to find a job? Or we go to a trade school to be a carpenter? We do all of these things to upskill ourselves, to prepare to have a career in that industry. But spoken word artists, like, man, I'm gonna write a couple of dope poems and then just see what happens. Like, they have no plan. And so when I came in, I said, yo, this is dope. And I go to different places. That's another thing too, diversity. Mm-hmm. So yes, I'm going to spoken word artist places, but I'm also over here at the church. I'm over here at the strip club. I'm over here at this business meeting. So I know the different platforms that are available. So if I'm a spoken word artist, how can I be marketable to these different platforms? And I can walk in and I can do a poem at the strip club. I can do a poem at the church. I can do a poem at a conference. I can do a poem at a school. So that is a career, because you're an orator. You are a speaker. So if you're a speaker, you have transferable skills, and those transferable skills, you can Christmas, Mother Day, Easter. Like, why aren't you working? Weddings, birthdays, like again, if it's a career, then you figure out, you know what? And I told my wife when she first met me, she was like, I don't get Valentine. No, you don't get Valentine because everybody's in love. They're going to want to hear a poem. They're going to want to listen to some music. No, like I'm looking at these places, like all of these places are income and revenue that I could be producing in this viable industry through spoken word. So when artists say like, man, what do I need to do to get put on? Put yourself on. I didn't wait for anybody. And the beautiful thing, and this is we talking about growth mindset, no one told us that we couldn't do it. We didn't know. Yeah. It's like, at the time when, the clubs are popping, then, over here, Freaknik is popping. Everything's popping. Like whatever you did at the time, as long as it was halfway cool, people was going to show up.
Yeah.
So why don't I put a lot of dope artists on? Because these dudes are dope. And I put some of these poets up against like any of these hip hop cats that are out here shooting videos and, in swimming pools, throwing money on women and all that. Like, but you suck, bro. I know this dude over, he's dope. He just doesn't have the platform. Right. So I'm going to use my marketing power. I'm going to use my relationships and I'm going to put together something creative and fun and then put myself on because of course I'm there. So I'm gonna perform. I create my own audience. Yeah. Then I can put these other people on. And then what you're doing now for the artists again that have that mentality, man, I don't know if I can have a career. Cool. I'm not saying I'm pimping you, but guess what? Can I put a couple $dollars in your pocket, bro? I'd be honored if you came and spoke over here. Oh man, for real, appreciate it. Yeah, cool. And so now I'm booking you and I'm getting money off of that. And again, I can only do what I do. You only eat what you kill. So when these artists say they're starving, that's because you starving. Yeah. You choosing not to eat. I'll only eat that. I'm vegetarian or vegan. I don't eat cheese. I only eat fish. I only eat that. Okay, cool. To your point. Oh, if I can't cuss, I can't do it. Oh, if I ain't ready for TV, oh man, I ain't trying to do all that, man. Bruh. I don't understand it. And of course, this is 20 years later speaking. But I came in with that fire in my belly, like who's better than us? We the best. Like the DJ Khaled of poetry. Like
I love it.
Who we?
Hey, you said you're the DJ Khaled of poetry. I see myself as the Russell Simmons of poetry. Nice. and even though I haven't been in it since the beginning, like Russ, but I'm finding out ways to build the industry, right? With the Poet Life, you'll see Poet Life podcast. That's one stream of income, and so you got Poet Life gear, you got Poet Life University, Poet Life Academy. And so what I'm trying to do is not to just throw a bunch of stuff out there. I'm literally making a list of things that you can do in poetry. Literally. Like I'm saying this on the podcast. There is money in poetry. And they're like, all right, so tell me where. I'm doing a podcast. That's one way. Right?
You're a writer, man. Like
how many podcasts speak to poetry? Like just think about the different areas in art and technology, and how you can interrupt and be the only one in that lane and eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, man, when we first started, they called us the poet guys. And at first I didn't like it, but I was like, yeah, we are. Because guess what? Like, man,
you're known for it.
Call the poet guy. He can do it. Yeah, I sure can. I sure can. So yeah, I think for artists, and I don't know how you want to, as far as the direction we're going, but you talk about the entrepreneurial spirit and being the Russell Simmons. I kind of look at it like the plug, right? Even with Russell Simmons, because he got the money, he got the TV show, but Russell had to see us. Like you couldn't come to Atlanta and not see us.
Right.
And I'm not saying that in an arrogant manner, but if you wanted somebody of quality that is plug and play, that's ready to get on your stage, you got to see us. Who else are you going to?
Got to.
Right. So again, you're positioning yourself where we're already on the radio. We already were selling out 1,000-seat venues for the talent scout to be like, yo, their show is bigger than ours.
Right.
Laugh-A-Palooza. Jamie Foxx, when he was doing Laugh-A-Palooza, they were still building it to try to get to Showtime. They hired us as the marketing team. Poets. Why do they like poets? Because guess what? Because the comedians are coming to our show because we got more people than a comedy club. And the radio is coming to us like, you have identified the invisible market. And at that time, again, I learned. I'm like, what's the invisible market? They're like, none of these people in your audience listen to the radio.
Yeah.
They want the original music. They want the independent artists. They want, you know, the college radio station or the underground radio station. They don't want our mainstream. They're cool on that. And you have 1,000 people here. So can you do that for us, for our audience? Because obviously our audience numbers are down. Your audience numbers are up. Let's combine forces. Sure. Got that.
Right.
It's Doritos. We're Doritos, bro. Crunch all you want. We'll make more.
I love it, man. Because the bottom line is you have to look at yourself more than just a poet.
Correct.
The fact that you're a poet, like you said, you're an orator, you're a writer. You put words together like puzzle pieces. And that's what companies need. That's what boyfriends need for girlfriends. And they'll pay for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just the stage. It's not just the open mic. It's not just anything. It's a blog that you can start and monetize.
Yeah.
You know, you're an orator. Why don't you have a podcast?
Man, so you're speaking, bro. You're speaking. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what this is for. That's what this podcast isn't for us to just talk. It's for us to teach, you know, and it's not for me to teach. I bring on people like yourself that are doing it, you know, because they're not just going to listen to one person. You know what I'm saying? They have to see it, you know, from you, from the, you know, the other guests that we have, and the people that we bring on have to be able to, or have to be willing to give the ABCs 1, 2, 3s. If you're not willing to open up and tell us how you did it, you can't come on this show.
And that's a beautiful thing about you providing this platform. Again, you're providing a platform for people to stand on your stage. This is your opportunity. What do you have to say? So it's a simple business concept that I take all of my artists through. Again, when they come like, yo, Chris, you've been doing it, man. How do I get on the level and all that? I said, so again, don't look at the 15 cruises and the international trips every year, and don't look at the Vegas and the Puerto Rico and the DR. Again, I started at this little dusty spot with 10 people in it. But I knew that what we had was what I'm doing now. I visioned it. So there are 3 books specifically that I gave you, 3 books. Number 1 is The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. If you haven't read it, go through it. Don't just read it. Actually do the exercises within it. There are exercises within the book. The second book is From Good to Great. Because again, do you do it or do you do it for real? And that's Jim Collins. And then the third one is the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, John Maxwell. Because again, you're on stage. What are you leading people towards? Why should you be the Pied Piper? Why should I look and listen at you? Why should I invest in you? Why should I show up to this podcast to learn? Why should I show up to your university for you to teach me? Why should I show up? And it goes back to what we said before, becoming a person of value. So what I did was I became a person of value where, again, it's not that, oh, I'm so just great and loving. No, everybody knows what I do. You know how hard it is to tell somebody to come to a poetry show? Not like now is like cool. When we first started, bruh, is churches and strip clubs. That was it.
Yeah.
Atlanta, at ATL, church or strip club.
Yeah.
So anything different, they're like, bruh, I don't really do that. And so for you to actually have to win mindsets and then win hearts and then win trust, because now people trust you to tell other people, like, man, come experience what I am, because it's your own church. It's your own church. So
the community is already there.
Yeah. So if you are a leader of the community, do you have the principles to be one of those people moving with the kings, nor losing the common touch? If all men count with you, but none too much. You know it. You know the poem. If.
Yes, sir.
So that's what it is. But again, it goes back into drilling down on, have I studied and shown myself approved beyond just the spoken word realm? Like, if I want a career in this, am I truly investing in myself to create a career? And that career is people invested in me because I'm a person of value, period.
Yeah.
My niche is poetry, but I'm a person of value.
Right.
Period.
Yeah. I was watching a video. I can't remember who said this, but he said, don't chase money, chase value, and money will chase you.
Correct. Might have been Miles Monroe, because that's my guy.
That's my guy.
That's my guy.
Man. And I just got up on him like 2 years ago, and I'm watching him on YouTube, and I'm like, man, I gotta meet him. And I was like, oh. Yeah, I didn't know he passed.
But he kind of foreboded in some of his stuff. He was like, man, all these books I've written, all of these things I've done. He's like, I'm here. He said, even if you never see me again, I'm here. I remember that, because again, that was his message. Like, what's your imprint, bro? Like that dash on your tombstone, like that's the dash. How'd you feel your dash? That's it. What you do.
So and how long is that dash going to stay in the world?
Man, is it going to resonate? Is it going to ripple? Is it going to build? And again, I'm just in a different mindset, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, Christoph, man. Just where I am.
I love it.
I think I'm shade on my skin, because I'm always evolving. And as a creative, like I'm so pumped at what you're doing as far as like providing that guidance, because I feel like we dropped the ball. I'll be honest. Like, and it's a cycle, and it follow me. So like Black people, right? Like, we were oppressed. We busted our tail to, try to move the needle. Now we move the ball down the field, and then they passed it to us. I ain't gonna lie, we fumbled. If you see these cats passing, you see the Jackson hella old, and I think Jones is probably the only cat still here. I'm sorry, Andrew Young is probably the only cat out of that regime.
Right.
Like, who's under that? Nobody. But yet you got these young cats under that are hungry, is bubbling. So you got the Black Lives Matter. They in the streets. They so in the middle, there are only a few cats providing that guidance, because we know what this generation did. They heard about it. They got videos, but we actually was there. Like, we connected, but how now we connected with them.
Right.
So you got all of this middle ground that is kind of open. And now at this point in my career, I'm like, yeah, I could do open mic, but again, for what? Like, what's the point if I'm not bringing people up or providing a platform, and they took the same seriousness and the same intentionality about making sure that they can get where they need to get to. So if I can just identify those keys people, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Because
it's like,
go ahead.
In your mind, you're like, I need you to win. I want you to win.
Yeah.
Because if you win, we all win. We put poets on all the time, and I need you to do well. I'm not going to stifle your growth. You know, so when I do hire you to perform here, I need you to go 150% so that client can say, "Oh man, I knew spoken word was going to do it. I knew it. I knew they were going to." Yeah.
To your jargon. So you said something very key, and I want to make sure your listeners heard even just something simple to a poet's mind. And again, that's why I had this series called Speak Like a Boss, and it's curriculum that I wrote to understand, you know, the holistic evolution of the speaker. Again, your spoken word, great, but within my speaking curriculum, Speak Like a Boss is if you can't see the whole picture of what you're walking into, you're not there to perform a poem. Like, no, I have provided this avenue, this platform for a client that is paying and investing in our company for us to be viable and do it again. It's a repeatable, scalable process. So how are you able to repeat your performance, scale it to larger audiences? Like, it's a symbiotic relationship.
Right.
And so you're not just showing up 30 minutes late, smelling like a pound of weed.
Come on, man.
Just like, yo, I don't have any good banter or in between. I can get up there and look real tense and then just start spitting a piece.
Right.
Or like, do like, hey, how y'all doing tonight? Do you have crowd presence? Can you tell interesting stories and anecdotes in between? Good friend of mine, John Good, and I don't know if you've had him on podcast, but if not, John Good is that dude. You need to bring him on.
Connect me.
Yeah, I definitely do that. And so right now he's hosting the Moth events, the storytelling events. And again, it's just flexing a different muscle. But guess what? Just because John is a writer and John does what he does, I sit here and watch this dude on stage literally for an hour. Guess how many poems he did?
3.
4 tops out of an hour. So again, it's not even about poetry anymore. It's not even about poetry.
That's just a tool in your tool belt. The poem is just one of your tools in the tool. Oh man. Man, if they get that, like, poetry is the vehicle. It's that's good.
Vehicle. Again, and what kind of car are you riding in, bro? Changing the oil? Are you making sure you got tires? Again, it ain't gonna start. Man, look, again, the vehicle ain't gonna start. Maserati, it ain't gonna start like that. But is it clean? Will it never break down? Will it get you to A to B? Are you keeping up on the payments? Are you taking it to the car wash? Like, what are you doing with your vehicle?
Are you adding to it? Are you pimping your ride?
How about that?
That's good,
Same
man.
act.
Tell me about your platform, bro. Tell me about your platform, man. Tell me about your platform.
Well, I have a couple of different platforms that we work on. The first one is Hallelujah. It is the largest clean comedy show in the Southeast region. We are celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year. And so just like you, every Thursday, we are on our Facebook Live, Hallelujah Comedy. And we just bring on our friends, man. My business partner, C-Dog, has been in comedy for about 30 years. I've been doing this for about 20 years. So we just have a lot of different relationships. We have a lot of different interesting conversations over the years. And so we just provide something for the audience that's behind the scenes. Exactly what we're doing now, talking to that artist that has done well, that's been able to stand on the significant stages and, have some, real salt in the game. Like, how did you do that? What did it look like? What were some aha moments? What were some turning points? So again, just at this point in my career, I want to make sure that we always have that vehicle. So Hallelujah is that vehicle with clean comedy, live music, spoken word, DJ, dancing. Again, I didn't say just it's a poetry show. Spoken word is there, but it's just the vehicle that has gotten me to be able to do this caliber of events. The second platform that I have is E. Speaks, and that's just me as an MC. I dare say I'm one of the top hosts in Atlanta, and possibly the nation. Again, I don't have the BET accolades, but I do all right for myself. Again, I stay in an event, or I stay connected to something that has a pretty good client profile. And so I have been able to not only MC these various events, whether it's a gala, a conference, or again, just a live concert venue or a festival. Also, I teach, so I can teach you how to be me. So if you go through my Speak Like a Boss curriculum, I'm going to say everything that I did not do well, things I did do well, and here is how you can choose the best path off of, to your point, what you have written down for your vision, because you can't live my vision. You can't live what I do, but I can assist you in figuring out what your vision is and then adding those components to it. Because if you don't believe in what you do, then why should I believe in it? So first of all, do you truly believe in what you do? And so then the last platform I have is where we are providing for our young adults, specifically Black men, the power to advocate for themselves. Because again, we're emotional. We're taught to suppress our emotion, so we don't have good conflict resolution skills. We aren't able to speak to each other and figure it out and talk it out. So guess what? We act out. When we act out, what does it do? It gives them the permission to either kill us or enslave us and jealous. So now we're acted out because we can't effectively express ourselves. So again, I've always had all this energy, and I've always, had these different journeys. But the big thing for me that has saved me through my whole life is the gift of gab. Like, real talk, this mouthpiece has delivered me, man. God, thank you. Because again, I just knew very early I could talk to people, and I figured out I'm 5'5". Like, I know I look 6'3" right now because I got my camera down. But again, the microphone has always been just a great equalizer in my life. And so I really break those components down, what that looks like just in your daily walk of how you're able to network and have your walking elevator pitch, I would say.
Yeah. I think one area that I want to tackle, and you just said it, network. How has that expanded your reach and your trajectory?
So I tell everybody, man, when we first started, we were one of the original email lists. Now everybody's like, sign our email. Like, we literally had a pen and a pad, and when you came in, you'd be like, how you doing? Can you put your email down? This is 2001, 2002. So we started like, all right, this is cool, you're here. But guess what? If I only got 8 people on the list, I know that at least 8 people know. If I got 10 people on the list, now people know. Now my running email list is at 25,000. If I really like trim the fat and say who really opens them, I'm still around 15,000, right? Again, some people watch, some people read email, some people don't. But I see it and it interests them. I'm there, you see it. And so I say that around 15,000. That was from a pad like this right here. Again, being intentional about, I need you to know who I am, and you will see me again. This is like a happenstance that you just showed up and we saw each other. When it comes to social media, I'm taking a digital marketing course right now, because again, everything is pushed. And like, yes, I'm on social media and I reach about, 50,000, I would say, collectively through all of my different avenues, whether Instagram, E period speaks, by the way, you see it right there. E period speaks, that's my Instagram, through my Facebook, through Twitter. So we always have been very intentional about capturing the data, not only at our events, but even if you and I speak, I'm intentional about adding you to my network. As soon as we talked, you say, oh man, but I was able to follow you. There was something that I did intentionally, and because we both had that same intention of, let me follow this brother to see what he's doing. But guess what? You keep popping up. You pop up on my email, you pop up on my timeline. So you have done your due diligence to network, but then also be repeatable, because if repeatable, now we're having this message and something can come off and it's scalable. Goes back to that concept again, from good to great.
Yeah. I definitely wrote those books down. I'll definitely be adding those to my list of books to read and adding them to my library, man. I'm teaching my daughters, it's more important to have a library than a TV.
Look, I tell everybody that networking thing. I said I don't have $100,000 for you, but I have $100,000 worth of resources. Like I can make it happen, and
Yeah.
it's not going to be for the price of making it happen.
Right.
And it's
Right.
going to look good.
That's good.
But that's not going to come by you looking at somebody else's life and journey and creative, because we all started with a blank canvas. And so
Right.
I like watching TV too. But I said, baby, I'm watching somebody else's canvas. I need to go do some work.
Thank you. You watching them make money. That's how I see it. And it's not to say that I don't watch TV, but am I going to choose that over my passion, my gift, honing my gift, my craft? Not going to happen.
Also, think about this, man. The way that they have it set up is, okay, I watched this one. Oh, now it's rolling to the next one. You 3 hours in again of watching somebody that created something. Say you're on social media and you scrolling and you're looking at TikTok and you're looking at video. Again, that's somebody else's creative. So you are investing your time in someone else's dream.
It's just TV. No, you watching somebody else's hard work and then reap the rewards.
Yep.
Who's watching yours? Oh my God.
Yes, sir.
I love it, man. I love it. I see that you've been able to pivot, from March to now, with this whole corona, COVID, whatever they're calling it. How have you been able to pivot?
Well, the blessing for me was I had my baby girl. So Savannah Charm Cornell is 5 months now.
Oh yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you, brother. So I already was kind of going into it knowing I was about to be down.
Got it.
And so knowing that I was about to be down, I'm thinking for 2 months, because then I was going to hit summer. We was about to do what we do for our stuff. So I was thinking, that 2-month period was going to allow me to kind of incubate and get a cocoon to come out on the other side with just the fly stuff for the summer leading into the fall.
Right.
But the beautiful thing was I was already on paternity leave, and she was born February 22nd. And then boom, like 2 weeks later, Rona was here. So everybody's kind of scrambling and like having to figure it out. I had already kind of like stacked my nuts for the winter, because I knew I was about to be down anyway.
Right.
So for me, I was fortunate that I was able to like spend the time bond, with my daughter, but I had already had a workflow planned out. So when you talk about increasing your digital presence, like I was already taking my adult learner certification. I was already signed up for my digital marketing course. I was already, revamping our logo. We are revamping our website. We have these different things that were already in queue. So for us, it wasn't even downtime. It was just a blessing that, guess what? While everybody's offline, now we really don't have this big expectation that I got to be out there every week or every month. I got to be.
Man, I'm glad you said that. That was the hard part for me, because I have 3 daughters, 5 and under.
Wow.
And I've listen, bro. I've always said, even before I had kids, that I was gonna be present. Like present, like active, right? And if being on the scene has to be sacrificed, and that's what it has to do. But what I'll do is I'll put things in place so they know I'm still working.
Correct.
So I just went heavy online. I was at the open mics before, and I made sure my presence was known. But I just got real heavy online, and I then was about to start release, having some interns put on the gear and then go to the open mics and represent. But then COVID hit, but I was already heavy online. So I said, hey, let's go straight digital.
Yes, sir.
Right. And now I can be I'm like in a closet. I'm like in a closet, bro.
You are in the closet. That's funny.
But look, if I tilt it
It's good
down,
though.
you don't know.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So there's no right, like especially right now, there's no excuse. Let's get to it.
Let's get it in. And again, I'm thinking on a different level, man, because I might step on some toes, but I mean, everybody in the community know it's a problem to me that there are cats that I started with that are still kind of in a holding pattern. Like we've all had a modern amount of success, but I just, to your point, I'm not the smartest, not the most talented in the room. I know I'm not the smartest that was in that room. I know I'm not the most talented that was in that room. And sometimes when I come back to your point, you could be down and you might have your presence there, but guess what? You ain't there.
Right.
So like when I walk into spots, like I'm not just like, oh, y'all do that now. Like, no, I want to stay connected. These are my people. But evolution wise, why are you still showing up to this open mic literally to get on a list to rock? Like, why do you want to rock on an open mic unless you don't have something new that you are working out? If you're like trying to work something out. So like when I show up, I'm like, yo, I'm about to go back on tour and I got new material and I got to figure this material out. So can I do a poem? Not like, yo, I'm about to do this poem that you've heard for the last 5 years. Word. Word. So I've been gone. Like, yo, I've been gone, son. I come back. Yo, what's good? Oh, the same poem. Yo, what you got popping? See, put me on. I'm like, yeah, they've seen your show. They've seen it.
They've seen it.
They've
Why
seen it
would they then pay for it?
And again, that's not like I'm better than you and all that other stuff. That's like, yeah, we gotta evolve. We gotta evolve, bro. Like you said, Corona's here. I'm in the closet. Like going back to your comment of like, these poets and code switching and how are they able to, like, I get it. Like I see them on live. They come on live and put a Cash App up. Cool. Again, I'm not, that's dope. Like we want to support our people. I support my people. But like, what is your revenue generating idea? That couldn't be your idea. Like, I can't go to open mic. So let me put my Cash App up and do an open mic in my living room. And guess what I'm going to do? The same poem. What? You went live and put a Cash App up for it?
Listen, if you're listening, this is not boasting. This is not gloating. This is none of that. This is teaching. This is, but you have to be open to listen to it, right? You have to have the humility to say, okay, all right, they're stepping on my toes right now. It hurts, but what hurts most times, one, it's not going to kill you. It's going to make you better. It's going to make you stronger.
Yes, sir.
You listen, the whole time you're talking, I'm writing down. I'm writing notes. I wrote the 3 books down. I'm writing notes as we talk. So I'm learning too while I'm talking to you.
But again, before we start, I say like, yo, what's up with this podcast? Teach me. I said, let me sit at your feet.
Good. That's good.
Because like you said, it's a humble experience. But guess what? I want to evolve. I want to learn. Please teach me. I don't know. I know where I am. I know where I want to be. I know I'm not there, but yet I haven't done anything to better my situation. The definition of insanity.
Yes. Man, I love it. I just hope and pray it really seeps in, for the folks that are listening. Because I easily could say, this podcast should be like huge right now, you know, because of the value that we're offering and on a week to week basis. We're not just having poetry talk. This is not this is not poetry talk. We ain't talking about metaphor. I mean, we do that, you know, but we're talking about growth in poetry, in business, in industry, in the community, you know, and you know, I easily could just sit here and say, hey man, this is my podcast, you know, just do what you're gonna do. No, I want you to win, man. I need you to win, because there is no industry when it's just one person. If there was one rapper, there wouldn't be a rap industry. We need the backpackers, the whatever other subgenres of rap there are. We need that because that's what makes the industry. You know what I mean? So whatever your lane in poetry is, I need you to speed up. But you gotta pimp your ride. Man. You gotta put a better exhaust on that thing.
Nice comeback. Hey, because guess what? The world just sped up. The world didn't slow down.
Oh, if people got that. People think the world slowed down. No. Oh, we're sitting right now. No, bro. We think, we think, you know, we just people are out of work. A lot of those jobs are obsolete now.
Right.
It was inevitable. Those labor intensive jobs, it was inevitable for them to go. The robots and the machines and things. Bro, those jobs are not coming back. A lot of them.
Mm-hmm. And you done showed them that they don't need you here. You just showed them. We've been home, to your point. And somebody's like, actually, I'm okay. And guess what? It's their business. So actually, that's a good move for them. Are you mad?
They're saving money. Look, they're saving money not being in the office. They don't have to pay rent for their office. Rent for companies, it's like $30,000 a month.
Easy.
Now they're saying they can be even more productive with their employees at home, and they're actually doing work.
And guess how the world is sped up? Because just like you're doing this work, this internet is cyberspace. Why do you think it's called cyber? Yo, you everywhere. You ain't just at your office desk. You ain't in your cubicle. You everywhere. Like, I've been on calls this week from West Coast to East Coast in one day. Not like, yo, I'm going to talk to this person this day. Like, no, my East Coast team is this time. My West Coast team is this time. Like, yo, it's still teams out here and they working. But to your point of going digital heavy, we all worked on how to go digital heavy. We didn't just sit here like, man, I don't understand this Zoom stuff and all that stuff, man. I ain't doing that. Again, growth mindset, fixed mindset. So guess what? You sat home with no shows for 6 weeks thinking it's going to get better. And then you was like, how I go live? Like, dog, you behind, bro. You behind. Like, and again, you're better than me. Like, technically speaking, like, I'm your fan. You're better than me.
I need you to know that, though.
Yeah. Like I said, like, if you figure out this world, you win. Like, I love the brother you said is doing poetry on TikTok. Because, again, ain't no poetry on TikTok. But guess what? I was watching BET yesterday, and they did a business conference TikTok. And they're like, yeah, for your business, whatever, or your ad. I'm like,
I just signed up for that. TikTok for business.
Yeah, 2 months. That fast was the iteration. That iteration. It's like, okay, this is the pass of time. Oh, no, actually, people are watching. Iterate.
Just like that. It's not just dancy, voiceover, jokey joke. It's these are commercials.
Yeah.
That we don't have to spend thousands, millions of dollars on.
And guess what? Because it's cyberspace and people are looking for content to fill their spaces. Oh my God, you're right. Oh, you're right. You speak. You can do that. You can be that guy. Hi, I'm Chris Cornell. Have you tried my curriculum Speak Like a Boss? You should. For $149.95, I could take 10 of your students and virtually train them for the next 4 weeks. Sounds good. $1,500. That quick. 15.
Man, I love this, man. I love it. I love it. I just want everybody to get it, man. And we're going to continue to bring people on to talk this game, to talk this work. God, this is good. I just posted a clip of one of our episodes where I said, I think I was talking to the lead contributor to Forbes.com. Just posted that this past Monday.
Yeah, I saw that post. That's dope.
Yeah. And I said, even in COVID, you can become an international poet. How? What do you mean? Listen, everybody's hosting an open mic. Okay, you want to do open mics? Let's do open mics. Search hashtag open mic. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Not TikTok yet. You'll find a whole thread. You can follow hashtags. You don't just have to follow people or accounts. You can follow hashtags. So when people use that hashtag, that pops up. Those posts pop up in your feed. So that means open mics everywhere pop up on your feed saying, hey, we got an open mic Thursday, 7:00, whatever, depending on the time frame, where they are, might be in the morning. There's open mics in the morning. Jump in an open mic. In this case, you can do that one poem.
You can do that one poem.
Right? Because you're no longer, now you're in Denmark and they think that's the hottest thing, right? So, but now they know you in Denmark. You did an open mic in Africa. There's a heavy poetry scene in Africa. Don't fake on Africa. Trust me, we're going to have some folks on this podcast from Africa. They're going to tell you. Nice. But I'm saying that now you're building your name, your brand, your network. And so whenever this is over, you tap back into that network and say, hey, I've been active, man. I've been in you all's comments. You all seen me. I performed in your open mic. This is what I'm doing. I would love to come out there and be a feature. Oh yeah, we remember you. You did that one poem. We loved it. Come on out. But make sure you don't just have that one poem.
Of course.
When you go out there, right? So, but listen, man, there's lanes for you to drive in, but you can't be the slowest one in the lane.
Man, I'm telling you, all the traffic metaphor is right, because that's what it is. Like when we got on, so again, 20 years in 2000, and again, this is us hindsight. We was getting 10,000 hits a month on our internet, on our website. We didn't understand the power of impressions. At that time, we had 10,000 a month on our internet. We had a festival that we was rocking that had like 2,000 people come out every year. And again, all of this is from literal flyers and email. That's it, bro. Flyers, word of mouth, email. We didn't have this. MySpace was just starting to pop, but it wasn't like this right here, right? And so again, hindsight's 2020. You don't recognize, but now that I know what I know, when Heineken was like, yo, we want to put a banner on your website. How much? And we was like, well, what's your budget? You know, that's as I learned. Well, what's your budget?
Right.
And they're like, we only have 5,000 left for this quarter. Is that okay? And I was like, normally it's 10, but we'll rock with 5. Cool. And again, we didn't know that, like, yo, I got $150,000 budget. So then I came back to Heineken. You talk about networking relationships, like, yo, we do this thing at the park. They was like, oh yeah, here, we'll just send you 50 cases or something stupid. I forgot what it was, but we just had mad beer. And again, they just got this product to give away. People are sitting on product, is not moving. Is not moving. So when it's time to move again, they're going to need somebody that they've talked to, they trust, that has built that relationship with. They're like, oh, well, Chris always does it for us. That's our guy. And you can literally sit and build this relationship here. And when it open back up, and we open back up and do what we do, because you've seen what I do. You've seen, again, the clips. You talk about, hey, I'm going to play this. Now I have a whole library of different subject matter experts for you to choose from, and you can catalog it. I mean, that's my guy. I go to Poet Life for everything, because that's what I know.
Yeah.
That's the brand.
Yeah.
That's what I've built. That, you know, so when people recognize just how you're able to rally all of these different things, and actually it's rallying people. Like right now, we're rallying each other. Like, okay, for the industry, I need to rally these cats real quick. Let's come in, let's make a huddle. Because when it's ready, break. It's our team versus theirs.
Yeah.
And same thing. I need you to win. Like if you flabby and sick, I can't throw the ball to you.
Yeah. 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 I need you to do some reps. I need you to do some reps. I need you to get them push-ups in, man. Like, I need you to build muscle in this game. Like, you can't be out here frail.
No, you can't, because it's not for the weak or frail. People think that poetry, and I'm gonna be real with you, man. I consider myself a cool guy, right? I've been fortunate that, you know, I've been part of some great groups of people. I can't even lie. When you say charm life, great groups of people. Like I put my life up against anybody, just of the blessings of the surrounding individuals around me. Like I love all my crew all the time at all levels, because even the knuckleheads was like knuckleheads, and I learned some great stuff from that knuckleheaded them, because they were still smart in their knucklehead. Like, yo, I know how to cook crack because I'm good at chemistry. So as my project management and chemistry skills, let me set up the largest dope network in the Southeast. I know them dudes, right? And again, they're not just like, I can't wait to shoot somebody up. They're like, nah, I'm trying to like buy my hood and, you know, be like the dude on the shine. I'm the dude that don't nobody know I'm ahead of the gang or the mob. So even on both sides of the polar opposite, I've been very fortunate to be around some great groups of people. So now when you talk about flabby and sick and getting your reps in and understanding that you had to be fit in this game, there was no lane. Poetry poetry was there. Like you had the last poets, you had Sonia Sanchez, Nikki Giovanni. That's it. That was the poetry pantheon. We was done. So this like generation that I'm with, like we had to cut through the bush. We had to whack through. Then Russell Simmons came, the TV Versus the Flow came, and then BT Lyric Cafe came. So great. Now we had these vehicles, but what kind of cars are you putting on the highway? Because again, if you're flabby and sick, and now I'm televising this to a larger audience, and you up there looking like Joe Frazier, you know, at the end of your career, then nah, bro, I don't want to reinvest in that. So now, again, we keep talking about investing in yourself and being ready for the fight. Like people are fighting for their lives, B.
Yeah. They
lives. We 150 in. You worried about an open mic or trying to get up? Nah, bro. Like we 150 deaths in.
Yeah.
Like, communicate or die. How are you able to pivot, take your God-given talents, package them, monetize them, and survive?
Listen, I must say this. We had a client email us through our website. and we worked with them before. They emailed us and said, "Hey, you know, we're I'm choosing my words. We're a group
Say what it is.
We're a group of not black people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so we're seeing the movement, and we're allies. All right, but we didn't just want to jump on board and jump on the bandwagon. We wanted to sit back and learn and listen." I said, "I appreciate that. That's a great path to take, right?" And so we want to. They're saying that we want to do a project. They are a ensemble of musicians. All right, but we want to partner with you again, and put some spoken word with that. And what are your thoughts? I said, "Oh, that's perfect. That's awesome. You know, I've been wanting to do something for the movement." And I said, "I actually want you all in it. I want you all in this video production." They were like, "Okay, all right. We weren't really expecting that, because we wanted to, make sure that we weren't the center of attention, and, being real humble." And I, again, I really appreciate that. But I was like, "No, I completely get where you're coming from, but I think it would actually add to it." Right. And so I'm saying all this, I'm just kind of setting it up. And because in my head, I'm thinking about the poet that I can call. Right. So you have this awesome production that we're going to put on. What they do is like atmospheric music in a movie, that type of music, right? And
Nice.
so it has to be a certain type of poet. So now my list of poets are kind of dwindling down, because everybody can write a poem, but not everybody can fit their poem in this box that I need, in this package that I need. So shortening my list. But then I'm a futurist, so I think ahead of the project. All right, cool. So this project could really go somewhere, right? News and right. So this poet that I get needs to be clean cut on the screen, can speak well, represent well. Narrowing down. List is getting smaller. What else is there? Has to be able to work well as a team, in a team. Shortening, because I remember previous project. You know what I'm saying? And so I say this to say, how well-rounded are you? Do you just have poems? Do you just perform well on stage? Because that limits you too. It's the car. It's the car you have. What kind of car are you driving?
Man, that's real, man.
You're not a one poet.
One? Wow. Is that real, or you just like,
no, it's real.
Metaphorically?
No.
So the real numbers was like one poet.
One poet.
That's bad. And I mean, there's no other way to say it, because you're like, man, look at what you didn't even know you took yourself out of the game. Like you think you in it, because again, like you got the uniform on, you got the tape around your ankles, like you ready to do work, but you ain't seeing the field, bro. And it's not that you can't play. You actually probably like one of the best position players out here.
Role player. You can get them yards that we need. We need them 3 yards. All right, we're gonna put them in.
But you're not an athlete. I can't put you in the slot. I can't put you wide. I can't put you in the backfield. Like, I got the ball. Like, the ball's gonna be there. Like, I'm Tom Brady. Like, we're gonna score. It doesn't even matter your name. But guess what? I need you. I'm gonna ask you to do some things that you probably haven't done before in your career. But guess what? We're gonna be able to get the ball down the field, because they don't even know you nice like that. And so when I throw you the ball, they're like, yo, who is this? Like an Amendola Edelman type dude. Like, where'd he get this little dude from? And like, we can't stop him.
Mm.
And guess what? That's not our only play we got with you. Like now they see like, oh, we can use this in different settings, different arenas. And guess what? We got a ring. Then we got another ring. Now we got 5 rings and 1 on the side of the dresser. And I'm still playing. I go into another team, and guess what? Just because I'm going to the team, they got us chosen to win the Super Bowl because of the talent on that team, and they know what I do with talent.
Yeah. I love it, man. It's getting late, man. I don't want to hold you up, man. You got.
Bro, I can do this all night, man.
I can do this all night. Listen, I don't know when. A lot of times, my problem is I don't know when to close. Because I'll go.
If you want to close, we can. If you want to chop it up for a little bit more, any closing thoughts, we can do that too. You tell me, brother. I'm with you, brother.
Yeah, listen, man. You and I are gonna connect on some real stuff. I already have a project where I need you to be the host.
Respect.
It's a panel. It's a panel, and it's called Building the Poet Life. I'm sorry, Building the Poetry Industry.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
oh, man, I would love to be a part of that, man.
It's a panel.
That's good stuff.
Where we bring on folks that are doing it on a high level. We're also bringing back the guest, the lead contributor from Forbes.com, and she loves this lane. She loves poetry, and she wants to see it go. She wants to see it grow. And so as you're talking, and as you're expressing your passion, I said, this is the guy that I need as the host.
Wow. I appreciate that, brother. And again, just opportunities, man. Let me know how I can assist you in shining. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
That's what it is.
Yes, sir.
And man, I just even stuff like that excites me because again, I'm going to be around some more great people. I keep saying that, man. I'm very intentional about if they're great people there, I'm there, bro. You ain't got to keep asking. I'm gonna show up. Like, man, I heard some great people here.
Yeah.
What we doing?
That scripture, don't ask me which one it is, but where it says, your gift will make room for you.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It will if you work it. If you just think you're gonna sit there and the gift is just gonna open doors, them doors gonna be closed for a good while.
Yeah,
because it also says faith without works is dead. So those doors are locked without your
doors
work.
Are locked. Talents are buried. Like I said, the guy that buried his talent because you didn't want to squander it, but then he actually lost it because the dude that went to multiply his. Like, man, plenty. I mean, again, we know what to do. You are providing that resource. You are providing that platform. What you got going here is amazing, brother. And I got to give you your flowers. And I'm telling you, it's professional. The way that you have set it up, how you just even intentional about the branding and the packaging, that matters. And again, it matters because if we are to be taken serious in this industry, and again, I keep talking about the jargon, like people understand the meaning, but the jargon is there for a reason. It is structured and formatted. When they say words matter, the reason I'm a wordsmith, because words matter. When you put puzzle pieces together, if this is the jargon that is going to get us to be taken seriously on the upper echelon in this industry, that is a whole conversation. If you step into a boardroom and you're still trying to talk like you at the poetry spot, it's an issue because, again, code switching, you're going to look crazy. Man, I have, people that have shown up to like sterile professional places smelling like a pound. Like, dude, you're about to get on stage. Like, on stage. Not like I'm in the back smelling like weed. Like, I'm the dude on stage looking like I just and smelling like I just did. And so you have to understand the norms and the etiquette for certain spaces. So in this space right here, in order for us to advance and get more people to buy into the message, it's not that we're asking you to buy into something to benefit us. Like, no, it's going to benefit you, which in turn is going to benefit us. But I have to model it first, because if I don't model it, then you can't, you're going to have to raise to my level. Like, I'm never coming back down, Christoph. Like, I'm never coming back down. The reason I'm passionate, because people are like, yo, this dude tripping. Am I tripping? Like, no, if really I'm frustrated, because I'm like, we don't have to do this. Like, we literally don't have to do this
at all.
Like I've shown you what to do. And guess what? I'm not even there yet, because this person's showing me what to do. And I still want to do what this dude is doing, because I'm clearly not doing that.
Yeah.
Even though I'm doing what I'm doing, I am nowhere near, because guess what? That dude is no different than me. We're the same.
No celebrity. No. They just chose to put in the work.
They put in the work. They set up the system. And they're just working their system.
Yeah, but he got the same 24 hours that you had even before he was a celebrity.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's the work, bro. It's the work and the quality of work. You know, I easily could just turn on Facebook Live or just put a camera on and just click record.
Yeah.
But what would the presentation look like?
Before we even launched our thing, I sat down with my partner and I said, I've been watching all of these things. And I think even my wife, she was like, yo, I'm surprised you ain't been TikToking and going on Facebook Live and talking every day because you miss them. I'm like, nah, I'm studying. I'm watching because I don't understand it yet. I don't understand it, and I don't know how it works for me. So when I saw the different things, I read more articles. I'm looking at different people put out content. I'm taking notes of different things. So when I went to my business partner, I was like, yo, we need an intro and an outro. So to your point, like now when we record it, we ain't just uploading it like, yo, we are in post-production. We actually have an intro and an outro that is comprehensive, that shows who we are, what we do, shows what it looked like when we were outside, but also now we're inside. So guess what? Whenever you go back outside, feel free to join us again. Because again, I don't know you, but for some reason, my man's over here, they watched it, blah, blah, blah. And it was a great packaged presentation. It wasn't just like, yo, what's up, y'all? What you want to talk about today? Like, no, this is what we're talking about. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. See you next week with something else dope.
Watch how I add to this ride right here. I learned I can transcribe these episodes. Now I have the text format of these episodes. Each episode, an hour-long episode, is like 22 pages.
Wow!
Look where I'm going. Transcribe. Now you have the text for the episode. That means you can transcribe and then transform the text into an ebook.
Yes, sir. I love it.
So that's my first book on LinkedIn is an ebook now.
Bruh, my first book is a collection of my commentaries. Cocktails Commentary Volume 1 is every week I wrote an email for a newsletter. I wrote a poem for the newsletter. And all I did was take all of my commentaries because, again, I built the following. We had 10,000 on the list. And I'm cranking out, again, new work. You working, a new piece every Monday was dropping. Guess what happened? I put it in a book, 1,000 books. And again, I'm nobody. I'm Cocktails. I wrote a newsletter and my first 1,000 sold out like that. Like I was sitting there tripping because, it looks crazy when the crates come in. When the crates come in and you're looking at the book, they're like, dog, are they really going to read me? But then they're like, dude, they've been reading you for the past 3 years. Of course they're going to read you.
You see this typewriter? You see this typewriter?
Yes, sir.
I write haiku on these typewriter.
That's dope.
Twice a day, 1 in the morning, 1 at night, each day. So just wait on the book. Just wait on it.
And the thing is, people don't understand the skill and dexterity of a haiku to even know how challenging what you're doing is. But the ones that get it, guess what? Those are the ones that's gonna buy it. It was like, yo,
Thank
let me
you.
see.
How did
Let me
he
check my man out?
how did he get that message in that small? It's not just a small poem. It's not just a poem that's 3 lines. It's a poem that has 3 lines, but each line, the first line has to be only 5 syllables. Second line 7 syllables. Third line 5 syllables. So you gotta, all right, this word is not gonna work here. All right, let me go to the thesaurus and switch up that word, because I still need that meaning to get this message across.
Yep.
Yeah. Lanes, man. Lanes and vehicles. Matt.
Hopefully that's going to be your title. Like when you release this, it's going to be lanes of vehicles.
That's why I keep saying it, because I'm working the title in my head. That's
I like
good,
it.
man.
Right. So it got to be lanes and vehicles, riding the poetry highway.
Ooh, I'm writing it down right now.
Hey, man, you got creators in the room. You know what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. Iron sharpens iron. Look, everybody, it's the Poet Life podcast. I'm sure you've got so much from it. I know I have. This is Christopher Cocktails Cornell. How can they find you, man?
So you can find me on Facebook, Christopher Cocktails Cornell, Instagram, E.Speaks. That's EPERIOD Speaks, and LinkedIn, E Christopher Cornell. So those are the 3 main hubs, and you can pretty much find out all my different sides: my corporate side, my entrepreneurial side, and my personal side.
That's good. That's good. You spoke of LinkedIn. Artists,
yes, sir.
Poets, get on LinkedIn. You said that you're a professional artist. There are professionals on LinkedIn. That's what LinkedIn is for. It's for the professionals, for the decision makers that have the money, that are looking for artists, that are looking for creativity. Go to our episode. I can't remember which number that was, but just go to our YouTube page, or just go to wherever you listen to podcasts, and go the Poet Life podcast. But find that episode, how to build your poetry brand on LinkedIn. Oh my goodness, that episode was crazy. So that just,
I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah, definitely. She one thing she said, just starting the conversation, she said, let me just lay it out like this. The average LinkedIn professional makes $75,000, but the average American makes $56,000. So just being on there, you got a raise of what, $9,000.
It's almost 20.
You know what I'm saying?
56 to 75.
I'm sorry, I can't do math. It's almost 11 p.m. at night. But you see that, right? So,
yeah.
But again, it goes back to who you're connected to. If you're connected to people making 75,000, you'll eventually make 75,000 if you take heed and skip past some of those steps, because you've learned from the people that are making it. Got past those detours because they said, "Oh, there's a brick wall right there. Go around that."
Man, you know what's so crazy, Christoph? And you know what I love about what I do currently is I'm teaching public speaking, and I'm teaching professional skills, but then I drop bars on them just to let them know I got bars. And that's any age group. So even if I'm in
you're related.
Yeah, even if I'm in a corporate setting, I would do during our little I don't know what they're called. They're called talent shows or office parties or whatever. Right. So guess what? Chris does the entertainment. Chris, can you do the entertainment? Yes. So now they got to go through my company to get the band. You think I'm not going to bring my band and get up there like, thank you for coming out. Great to see you, Sarah. Hey, I'd like to do a little something for the occasion just to kick us off here. Man, I'm straight the Black Frank Sinatra in that thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm the Black Pat Sajak. What do you need? So let's do it. Because again, now I'm an intrapreneur. So I am able to execute my entrepreneurial duties within my corporation. And guess where what happens? Now we on LinkedIn. To your point, we're on LinkedIn. And they said, man, I need somebody that is going to be, appropriate for our holiday party. That's going to blah, blah, because we need to know that they can, come in and speak the jargon, understand the environment.
Adapt.
And they got to be able to pull up in front of our house. Again, our vehicle. What does your vehicle look like when you pull up to this party? Are you supposed to be in valet with everybody else?
Man, listen, man. We're gonna end this thing because this ain't gonna be much. This is gonna mess around and be 3 hours, man. Listen, everybody. It's the Poet Life Podcast. Subscribe. Check out our website, thepoetlife.com. If you need some gear, go to poetlifegear.com. Follow this brother here, Christopher Cocktails Cornell. He has so much information, so much experience that he can just speak a word and you'll get it, man. I've gotten so much just from this hour and 42-minute conversation.
Wow. It flew, brother.
Flew by. And I just hope that you all pause, rewind, fast forward to the next piece of the conversation that we had and just study it, write it down. Look, I'm talking and I'm writing at the same time, So, Chris, man, thank you so much for coming to the Poet Life Podcast. I really appreciate your time, man.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Godspeed. Don't slow down. Y'all are more the conquerors, man. Y'all be safe out there.
Yes, sir. And I'll be reaching out to you for that event for sure.
Oh, hey, again, bro, you had me a hello. Let's do it. Let's get this work.
Look, man, have a good night, man. I'll talk to you, all right?
All right, brother. One.
It's the Poet Life Podcast.
Peace.
Introducing the Poet Life Podcast. Go check it out today on your favorite platforms, including iTunes, Apple Music, and the website, thepoetlife.com.
Find a way, find a way. Ain't gonna